The most important media outlet in the country right now.
Welcome to the Watering Hole. This is episode 88. Guys, I'm really excited because
strap in.
We've entered the YouTube golfing space.
We've entered it.
We had Rick Shields, but now we've got, I'm calling him the godfather of YouTube Australia.
There we go.
Ron Chopper, mate. Welcome to the Watering Hole podcast.
Welcome, Ron.
Am I the only one clapping?
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming on, mate. We appreciate it.
Good, easy.
Mate, it's been a massive couple of weeks for you. We'll touch on all of that as we go. But let's go back to the start. How did you get into the space? And mate, who is Ron Chopper?
Oh God. So this is going back to COVID. So just during COVID, I was running a pro shop. It's sort of a country, pretty sort of Pinjarra Golf Club. Not many members there. So during COVID, it was all that rules about playing in pairs every 10 minutes, and then you could only be a member if you were to play. So I wouldn't see people for hours on end, and it got to the point where pretty bored, to be honest. And then you get the odd dodgy phone call about if it's going to rain in 3 days' time, and then just the idea came across to just take the mickey out of the members, and more just to get people laughing because it was such a pretty crappy time.
Yeah,
you feel like trapped in your house. So. It was just for the members, just to give them a laugh about what the sort of phone calls I get, and it just sort of went off from there. And obviously, what happens at my golf club was happening all over the world. So, that was the start. It sort of a couple of videos along that line of working in a pro shop, and then it got to the point where I met Joel at a PGA dinner, and Joel said, "Let's go. Do you want to go film something? I've got like some camera set up and a microphone." And I had the idea that the Ron character would take on a pro, and I just got one of the pros I knew that would know to take it well out on the golf course, and that video went well, and then people asked for more, and then last week playing with Rick Shields, it's just ridiculous.
That's crazy. The you would get some real doozies, I reckon, people calling up and asking some really silly questions. What is the dumbest thing that someone has said to you?
Oh, it's always about the weather. Like it's they call you at 5 o'clock in the morning asking if it's raining. I can't see.
Turn on the weather channel.
Yeah, and they live on the back of the third hole. You're like, mate, you tell me. You live here. So,
step outside.
That was always the common one. And then just tea times, trying to get an early tea time, but you say 7, they say no, it's probably 11. You're like, well, that's not early, but
that's almost the afternoon.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was just there's so many. I haven't worked in a pro shop for so long, it's sort of I've forgotten them all. But it was obviously it happened everywhere because the amount of feedback I got from it was crazy. Yeah,
some of the early videos of all the sort of skits were just hilarious. It does ring true when you're going in the morning on a comp on a Saturday and you hear some of the members saying certain things, and then even the pros taking the phone call from obviously clearly people trying to book in for the weekend or something. Some of the stuff that they have to answer would just be borderline painful. So I can only imagine what you had to deal with.
Yeah, it's they all go through it. It's obviously the same everywhere. So. I don't think it's changed either over the last 4 years. The same questions are getting asked.
Now we got a bit of an obligation here. We got the Pirate Life hot crack that we have to do. We tee off here. So Ron, we've got one sitting here for you. I don't know if Ron loves a drink or not, but there's one sitting here for you. Do you get the Pirate Life much? Do you, Ron?
I don't mind it after a game, before a game.
We'll just tee off real quick here. Hang on.
There it is. Thank you, Pirate Life.
You got the obligations there, you know what I mean?
Got to do what you got to do.
Now, again, you're in the full get-up. I reckon we saw, like Chris said, there was 102,000 people at Live Golf Adelaide, and we reckon about 50,000 of them were wearing these Ron Chopper shirts. Mate, how did the get-up? Did you just pick the most stereotypical thing?
I think I grabbed this Puma shirt because I had to play like the member and the pro behind the counter. So I just grabbed this horrendous Puma shirt that I later found out was probably one of their worst selling shirts. And I put it on, and then that became the shirt of Ron. It was just this 3-tone colour shocker. And then it was just a shirt I had to wear. So when we made our own, we obviously just ripped it off completely, put a couple of things on the back and a logo here, and yeah, it's sort of, I can't wear anything else now. Like, it would look weird as well. So
I was going to ask you, is that frustrating now that you kind of you got to wear the same thing? Because
Why don't you something else?
I'm all gear, no idea. I love merch. If you can't tell with all the live shit here everywhere, but is it frustrating that you can't wear different stuff, or is it just it's too good now? It's taken on the identity,
No, like I've had some messages from like Travis Matthew, I think, they've asked if like I could wear their shirts. You're like, yeah, but fuck, like I can't. Like all this gear that I'd wear, I'm wearing the same stupid shirt that's fading, and I can't wear this and then go grab some milk. Like, it's just like full on shirt.
Yeah, that get up at the supermarket would be concerning.
Yeah.
Oh, massively. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, like, I can't change it now. It's what it is, and it's actually quite cool that it is what it is. If you wear this shirt, and even when guys are wearing that shirt, they obviously get people go, hey, I know what you're doing, and so there's no way. There's too many people that bought one that I can't go and flip it on them now. So
yeah.
Was your phone just going crazy live weekend with all the like being tagged in all the photos of all the Ron choppers everywhere?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you get some. There's a group of like 5 or 6 guys who I got sent. Obviously, people taking photos of them, and then
that's
a couple
right.
of people on the tee boxes, and it was unreal that they do it. And they stand out like dog's balls with this shirt. So it's very cool.
Choppers assemble, a bit of an Anchorman mode.
It's funny because it's almost like a disguise, because I saw you post something the other day of you at the range just in your everyday clothes, and I immediately thought, oh, Ron's sharing someone else's stuff. I didn't even click it was you. I'm like, oh wow, okay, my bad.
No, I call that's me, Clark Kent, and then I'll put
exactly.
You piece of shit. He's a real person, all right, Whitey, right? Come on, man. No, it is a great outfit. I love it, and it does stand out. Like I said, we saw so many people live Adelaide dressed up as yourself. I guess let's go on to the YouTube stuff. So you've worked with some pretty impressive people. We'll go straight to it because it's probably been a massive couple of weeks for you. Rick Shields, how did it come about? What was your I guess what was your reaction to finding out that this could be happening, and how did you find the whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, I woke up Monday morning ready to go to work and coach all day, and just had an email from one of the team members, and it had like a Rick Shields. It was like Jono at Rick Shields, and I was like,
yep.
Okay, open that, and then just asking if I would be interested to heading to Adelaide that week and being an episode of Break 75, and I was like, no way, like this is not why. First was why, like why out of everyone to ask, really, and then he checked on who this guy was, if it was legit. Was Joel stitching me up?
That's a mean trick.
Yeah, so once we sort of, and then I sort of replied saying, well, I'd love to, obviously. And then I got a message that afternoon from a guy called Ben, who's one of Rick's cameramen. He's an Australian guy.
Yep.
And he said, I heard you're on board. And then I went, hang on, this is actually legit. And I didn't realise that Ben had sent me a message a month ago saying, oh, in Adelaide you should be on a Rick episode, and I just took it as like, oh yeah, great, I'll give him a call, it will happen. Like, I just didn't even realise he was linked to Rick. And when I got the message from him, I was like, this is happening. And we just booked flights for the late Saturday night because I had to coach all week, so I literally gave my last lesson on Saturday, straight to the airport, flew in at like 11 o'clock, dirty Macca's for dinner, and then we woke up at 4:30 and we were there. We still got there, didn't believe it until he walked out, and we met him. So very, very, very cool.
That must have been just such a surreal experience, obviously, because I'm sure, you could kind of tell, I mean, that it was a bit like, wow, this is Rick Shields, and you're there. What were the nerves like when you were standing next to him? And obviously we've watched the videos, a lot of people have, but when you're standing out the front there and you're about to, get on the driving range and hit balls, and then you're about to tee it up with him, what were the feelings like when he starts recording on the camera and, it's all action? What were the nerves like?
Oh, obviously, it's funny, once I met him and then we'd hit range balls, it wasn't so much it was him, it was the thought of okay, like 500,000 people are going to watch me shoot 95 today. Like that was that was the nightmare that was going through my head. Like, do not start yipping your putter again. Like he got me at, I was down in the dumps with me golf, and I was like, what a time to ask me to do this. And that was the more thought. I was like, just like, don't get in his way. Like, couldn't go full Ron, and like there's sometimes he was hitting a shot, and I would, if it was my mates, I would have ripped him apart.
Yeah.
I couldn't. You're just like, I don't know how his audience would appreciate,
Yeah.
and if they would even understand the banter. Like,
Yeah.
obviously Aussies, it's respect if you call each other names and rip into each other. Where I don't know if it works the same way. So
Fucking, you're right.
So yeah, I was more nervous that I didn't play horrendously, and people go, oh, this guy's no good, and why did he invite him? That was the stress. Rick, I sort of felt after about 3 or 4 holes, I was like talking to him and asking him questions and sort of getting into the flow of it. And yeah, I feel like if I played him again or with him again, it would be like game on, and I would probably push the envelope a little bit more as well, I think.
Yeah, there was a couple of times there throughout the video. I loved it. There was the little
little jabs.
the little jabs. It was fantastic.
I think I've said it hole 3 when the par 3 when you like turn to the camera, got him.
There was one hole where he smoked it into a tree and it kicked out, and then I was like, that was in a car park, and I was like, said to him, I was like, you're getting lucky, and he was staring at me. I was like, you're lucky, like don't even try and like bullshit, like you are very lucky today. And then it was just more like if you're mates, you would like rip into each other, but I was like just trying to work out where that line was. But yeah, it was unreal, and he was awesome, like pretty much exactly how you'd think he would be. Yeah, I asked him questions, he gave back, he asked me questions. Even after when the cameras were off, it wasn't like it changed. He still had a chat to me. So yeah, like even I was sort of thinking when he gets these sort of hateful comments, I'm back here going, man, you don't even know the guy. It's sort of hard. I can understand where they're coming from, watching him go to live, and people didn't like that, but I'm sitting in a golf cart with him, and he's telling me that tomorrow he's playing with John Rahm, and then from there they're flying to Korea to play, and I'm like, who's not doing that? Who's saying no to that opportunity? So very cool experience, and like I hope it happens again for sure.
Well, I was going to say, you kind of went to it there, but I mean, what do you think of the role for him that he plays now, being an ambassador for Liv? I mean, we personally have talked about it on this podcast. We're very pro Liv. It's what we follow, but, I think we said to him on the podcast that we had with him, it seems like a great idea, and why wouldn't he? I mean, if you were in a similar situation, it makes sense, doesn't it? You got access to all these great players and great courses. You get to travel the world, and for him, surely he wouldn't have to worry about scheduling and things like that anymore. What do you think it does for Liv Golf having a guy like Rick on board?
Oh, it's massive. Like when people said he sold out, I would have done it for a carton of piss. Like I would have been I think there's small things like people don't understand. He has 17 members of staff working for him. So there's 17 people that he has to there's livelihoods he has to look after. And if you've got like someone like Liv who are going to take you to all these amazing courses, access to these players that, like he was talking about how it's just so hard to catch them, but now they're like right in front of him. It's just like I'm trying to find the negatives. Obviously with Liv there's all that controversy where the money's coming from, but like the PGA Tour isn't squeaky clean either, so everyone's a bit of a hypocrite in that regard, but I get it, people don't like it, and that's fine. But yeah, for his point of view, he's trying to always keep up, like the grants and that are going so well. He's got to do something like this to stay top dog. So it was pretty much a no-brainer. And for Liv, I mean, if more people didn't watch Adelaide this week because of some of the videos that came out, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, no, the like he said, the content speaks for itself, and I mean, just you said it there, like John Rahm, the names that he's already had. He said, in a couple of weeks, the names that he's had have been incredible. You've obviously played with a bunch of people, Rick being one of them, Luke Quan another. Who you got coming up? Have you got anyone else sort of in the works without giving too much away on your channel coming up?
Well, we go to New Zealand, so we're hoping that those boys or that group are gonna join up. It's hopefully in the pipeline.
They have a fun
goes ahead. That'd be huge. because I'm a massive fan of what they do. They're very, very funny boys over in New Zealand, and I feel like we could it could be pretty cool to even change up what they do. They've always got the same 4 guys, so if I come in and change it up slightly, it could work. It might not. Well, it doesn't matter, but it's more probably the golf courses over in New Zealand. Like, to play in Queenstown, like I haven't seen a bad photo of a golf course, so I'm so pumped to play some of those places.
And when do you go there? It's soon, isn't it?
2 weeks. So yeah,
right.
Basically that recon was just out of nowhere and perfect timing. It would hate to happen when we're in New Zealand, but that was perfect to do that. Then it sort of fuels us for New Zealand for some of these golf courses. So it's a pretty exciting time for us for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Like if that opportunity comes up, you can't say no. You just got to make it work. So
yeah, absolutely.
It was pretty insane. Let's go back to Liv. We obviously follow Liv a fair bit. There's a bit of controversy, like you said, where the money comes from, and about Liv. What are your thoughts on Liv, the product, and then the format, the team aspect, and how it compares to, I guess, your traditional golf. What are your thoughts on, I guess, being sort of surrounded by it a little bit, not so obviously the crowds there, but seeing the course and that at Grange at Adelaide, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess Australians have a different idea about it because we don't see the big events here, like the PGA Tour. If they've done anything, they've probably hurt us more. Like the Australian Masters doesn't exist anymore because the funding's gone. So when Liv go, look, we're going to bring a tournament and we're going to bring these amazing players, like, how do you not latch onto that? Because we're not getting it from anywhere else. So I'm sort of like, I understand there's probably ties with the PGA and PGA Tour, but at the same time, I don't think they're doing much for us over here in Australia. They're killing us slowly. And whereas Liv have just gone, guys, here we go, here's a product, and obviously it's just gone mental. So, I think it'd be cool to have 2 events in Australia. Like, I don't understand how it's a long way to go for one day, like one weekend. You think you could probably push another one into Melbourne or something like that, and that would have the same effect for sure. And then Liv as a product, the team stuff, I don't know how. Like, it's obviously again easy for us because Rippers are Australians. Like, that's probably the only way I could think of is like it's nationality based. So, but how you get the right amount of players, because obviously Americans are going to have probably the biggest. I think they do. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. They've got the most amount of players from America.
I think so.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Maybe a couple of teams from the States, but if it was it was based on where you're a country, then I think that would work really well.
Yep. Let's go now to the guys that you mentioned before, the guys that you work with. So you got Golf and Joel. You got Joel, and then our man from 4 to 4, Dave Gravy. How you sort of mentioned how you met Joel. How did you meet Dave, and how did this sort of group come together?
Dave's probably one of the first in Australia to start a YouTube channel. So when we were getting ours, I was basically contacting him, just asking like how do you upload a video, like how do you do this, and he was the guy that was like helping us and show what to do, what not to do. And then it's just from that it's formed into, he now comes with us on trips, he grabs a camera,
good,
and it's awesome. So just having the 3 of us on these trips, it's a lot of fun. And then Jolie stuff's going really well, like he's got his own channel going. We're just sort of bouncing off each other, having 3 people doing the same sort of thing. You always sort of like pushing each other to improve it. We have a little chat, like I'll put up a video and then just get absolutely ripped apart if it looks terrible. And it's perfect. That's what you need. You can't have people going, oh, that's good. I need people to say like, you're a piece of shit. What was that? So, and that's what we do. So, it's working really well. And like Gravy's coming with us to New Zealand, and again, like if you told me a year ago we're playing with Rick and then we're going to New Zealand. So who knows what this is like, and we cancelled, or are we still kicking along? I don't know. It's but it's pretty exciting.
Still kick along. We obviously met Dave at the Jack in the Hunter Valley when we played there. Poor Dave got stuck with me in the celebrity creator shootout there.
I feel like he was Yeah,
He was
Carrying your team.
carrying the team.
Yeah.
It was funny. They said, "Who's the captain of the team?" And I just immediately pointed to Dave.
Throw him in there.
Yeah, you're the captain. He smoked one up the fairway on the first tee shot. I put mine into the water,
Very cool.
and then he said that he went on to say that we were going to use his tee shot over Matt Stubbs' long drive. He's the long drive champion, but he took great pleasure in saying we're using his drive. He's a character, isn't he? So he was good fun.
Yes.
Plenty of drinking sessions with him at the Jack. What are the nights like after you've played around with those two?
Very professional. Bed by 7. No, it depends if my missus is listening. That's the big one here. We are there for work, so we're straight. It's it's very much a palmy and a beer sort of diet every night at a pub. So that's what we're doing most nights. Doesn't get too we don't go off because we've just played 36 holes normally, so we're pretty shattered, and then we're back up in the morning at sort of 4 o'clock or something stupid to go do it again. So it is awesome, but it's by the last day we're all cooked. So, but not complaining at all. It's unreal to get to play some of these courses, and the boys, we have a great time.
I was going to say, does it just make it better having a crew of guys with you that you can, have that banter with and bounce things off, and it just must make it so much more fun.
Oh yeah, it's getting obviously each trip gets better and better, and it's everyone's on board. We sort of almost don't need to even talk to each other when we get to a golf club. We all know where to stand, where to go. We're straight into it, so it's getting quicker as well, getting all this stuff done. So, and the boys, it's those 3 boys know exactly what we want to see. They know how the video comes out, so they know how to stand. And knowing that there's going to be a beer at the end of the day makes it a bit easier to get through as well.
Beautiful.
So,
Do the sorry, Steve, just to jump in.
Jump in, jump right in.
Do you? I'm curious. Do the courses? Do the clubs know that you're coming in to film? Do you give them a pre-warning, or do you ever just rock up and just start filming? Or
no, always I'm trying to get hold of a golf director or a GM. You get lucky sometimes where just say we're going to Sydney. I'll say we're heading to Sydney, and you're just looking for a message from someone who works there, and cool, there's our in, because then that way you can sort of get a good tee time where you can have a pretty good run. You just need carts to carry all the gear, so just to rock up and film wouldn't ever do that, because I know especially obviously being in the PGA, you just can't do that in the first place. But some places don't there's courses that we're allowed to play, but they don't want filming, so which sucks, because they're some of the really nice courses. But if you can get someone who watches your stuff, that's an absolute winner, and you can get a good tee time, and zoom around and get it done really quickly.
We obviously watched the Adelaide videos, all the Adelaide courses that you played. What was the favourite one amongst you guys in the Adelaide trip that you did recently? Well, recently, I suppose.
Start of the year.
Yeah. I really liked Royal Adelaide. I think Kyonga is unreal, but the only problem I had, I played it. It was middle of the day, and it was
super windy. Yeah.
Ridiculous. Oh man. So I couldn't every shot was just a punchy one, and just trying to survive. So I don't think if we were there, calm day, first thing in the morning, I reckon it would have been up there as well. So I probably need to go back to Kyonga and give it a fair run. The biggest surprise was Mount Compass. I had so many people tell me about it, and then we got there, and I was what the hell is
It's
this?
a hidden gem.
And it was it's unreal. There's 8 people booked in. It was where is everyone? What's going on? And then you go upstairs, and they have for lunch, they have a menu, and one page is full of 24 different palms you can buy. I'm what are you doing? So that was a massive surprise. Links Lady Bay is obviously amazing down that way. But definitely Royal Adelaide, Compass was up there, and I need to go back to Kyonga and have a look at it.
How did the Grange stack up to that list?
Oh, I mean, the last game we had, when I played with Rick, there was not a blade of grass out of place. I reckon we probably had it better than what the guys did, because it got super hot, I think, when we left. There was 3 or 4 days it was there's one day it was over 40, because when I was watching it on TV, it looked like really brown, and when we played it, it
Yeah.
didn't look like that at all. So, yeah, amazing. Like, just obviously going to be up there. I was just sort of, I guess Royal Adelaide was up there just because of just the train goes through, and the day we had to play was just perfect. So, but Adelaide is just such an underrated, like me and Joel talk about it all the time. It's just when you go golf trips, it's like you go to Melbourne and you go, and Adelaide, I don't know why Adelaide doesn't come up more for, especially for WA guys. It's just, it's closer
Yeah.
and
Yep.
it's amazing. Like, it's unreal.
The well, Whitey kind of took my question there with Grange, but yeah, we bailed Rick up outside. I reckon it was
40.
Well, 40. I think they said it was the hottest city in the world at the day. What was the weather when you guys were playing? Because it still looked pretty warm when you guys were playing there.
Like 28 degrees and no wind.
Perfect.
Oh, beautiful.
Literally, if you're not playing well, it's your own fault. So that was great to know that I couldn't blame anything else but myself. It was like a perfect day. It was spot on. So it was just what I said. Like, it was just when I watched it on TV, especially that last day, I was like, oh man, it's getting pretty hot there, or it looks like it's back hot. So, but yeah, like unreal. Like, they do it so well. I'm surprised they're thinking about moving it. I don't know why. It seems like it's got the space to for all those marquees and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think it's potentially a members issue.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Does it get trashed
Gets
when
torn
it's
up.
finished? Is it
Yeah.
look pretty dodgy?
I think that's that seems to be the concern.
Yeah.
And some of the videos I guess across TikTok might suggest after the concert that could be the case. But it is a beautiful course, and it does have the space, as you said, for all the infrastructure and everything there. It is a perfect spot for it. But when we were there, the plans of it to potentially move to North Adelaide, I mean, that could be cool as well. Being
They're going to pump a lot of money into
Yeah.
a lot of money, Greg Norman design course.
Yeah.
In the CBD, if they do a flyover of Adelaide when they have it on, it could be pretty special as well. But obviously, you were lucky enough to play and be in pretty good company. But have to ask, what was your favourite hole? I'm hoping that you lean towards the namesake, But what was the favourite hole that you played, or what were the couple of favourites?
I like the ones I birdied.
Bit of birdie sauce, yeah.
Not many. Yeah, I liked. Oh God, I mean, the one that surprised me was the party hole was so much longer than I thought. Like, I thought you hit the pitching wedge in there and you get in there and you're like, oh shit, it's like from the back, it's like probably a 7 or 8 iron. Like a 5 iron for you boys. So it was,
No, I give it a try.
that was pretty, little jab.
I love it.
That was, I think,
coming.
I don't know. I think I like the front nine
Yep.
better. I did. But yeah, like, is it 27 holes? Is there another?
There's an east and
There's
a
an
west
east and
course,
west, yeah.
and then because you've played it before. Who did you play with? Crystal.
Crystal,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. Yeah. So did you play like an east or a west course on that one, or was it?
We played the back nine. So the one I played with Rick, once we got on that side, I was actually able to help him because he was asking me
That's
questions on
right.
the front nine. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like, looks like it's over there.
Stitch him up.
So yeah. I think I like the front nine, but it's one of those things that when you're playing first thing in the morning and it's perfect conditions. There's the course is gonna look amazing. So I do like front nine. Probably the par fives there are pretty cool, pretty quirky. Just a great golf course. It's awesome golf
Beautiful.
course.
That third hole, that long par 3.
Oh, yeah.
That looks challenging. You not to give too much away, but you hit a knots on that one, didn't you?
yeah.
I think so.
That was we got on the back tee and then he was saying it was like 240 yards. I was like come on, it's Thursday morning. Like, what,
Ease me into it.
Yeah, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, but then I think they make up for it because like 2 holes later there was like one that was a sandwich. So I was like, okay, well, that give and take a bit there, but yeah, very cool.
We won't hold you for too much longer, but one question, and this is Whitey's always seem to steal this
Still all
question.
my questions.
We've spoken to a couple of people that obviously are in this space and they do YouTube golf or content creation in the golf space. But what's your best on camera moment in golf, and then your best off camera moment in golf?
Jesus, on camera. I think recently I did a video with Joel and Seb from Hackers Golf Club, and they zapped the wrong.
Oh, that was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
That was hilarious.
I was fighting for my life not to
Yeah,
laugh. And the fact that I was ready for Joel to flub it and it'd be perfect, but he hit like his best line and it went 40 metres over the green. And the camera doesn't show, but we were laughing on that tee box for so long. Just the whole build up, it was just like scripted. It felt like, how are these guys not looking and seeing that it isn't 180 metres? Like,
yeah, didn't one of them guess and then the other person just like agreed and said, yeah, it's definitely that?
Yeah, well, when he said 180, and then when Joel put his thing up, I waved my hand in front of it, and then it must have clicked. And then they're both high-fiving, and they walk off, and I was like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe
keep it in.
Happened.
Don't let them know.
So that's definitely my favourite moment. And probably the funniest thing I've ever seen on a golf course was when my first ever game of golf, when I was first game on my own, where I finished school, rocked up at the golf club, and then when you're like a single, they're like, oh, you can join the Johnston party on the 10th over there. So it was just this public track in Perth, and I went over and they were all old boys. I was probably like 13 or 14. And one of the boys had one of those sort of tracky things in his neck. And he didn't speak at all, obviously. But then we've teed off. I think I hit a pretty good one. He went last and he sliced it into the bush. And then he turned around, he went into his bag, and I stopped walking. I was like, oh, he's going to hit another one. And he pulled out the tube and he put it up near his neck, and he just went, shit. And then he put it back in his bag.
I had to let you know how he felt about it. He couldn't keep it in.
Yeah, he had like 3 minutes to find his thing, and just he needed to say something.
Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's close. I wasn't expecting it to go.
Yeah. Where is
That's
it
classic.
Yeah, I know.
That's classic. Oh, mate. Well, we won't, like I said, we won't keep you too long, but we do ask all of our guests the same 4 questions at the end, the final 4. Pretty standard first one in the golfing space anyway, but your fantasy foursome, so yourself and 3 other people. If you had to have one more round of golf with 3 other people, who would it be? It could be anyone, could be golfers or any particular person. But who are the other 3 people playing with Ron Chopper?
Jesus. You got to say Tiger
Yep.
I want 2000 Tiger, not now Tiger. I want 2000 Tiger.
Yeah. Not TGL Tiger, you know?
I want who else? No, it's boring. I want to hear what he's up to. The stories. So 2000 Tiger. Oh, who else? You want John Daly, just
for the beers.
Stories. It's not even about the golf. Like, it's just the guys who can, like, obviously those boys can play well, but like just the stuff that would be going on in their lives at that time. You want to hear what's going on. Who else? Who else is good? I mean, Jack Nicklaus probably from a golf point of view. So those 3 stories and some golf would be unreal. 18 holes of game. 18 holes of that would be
beautiful. You've played a few. Your favourite course, either one that you've played or you hope to play. What's your favourite course?
For favourite was probably the National Old Course.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's just the most ridiculous. Like, the clubhouse looks over the whole valley. And then it was like the hardest golf course I've ever played. Like, you got a 2-iron to keep in play, and then you've got like a 2-iron to go. Like, and you can't cut corners. It's unreal, and it's just amazing. I want to play PK in Melbourne. I really want to go play that one. I've been there for a beer and saw it. I didn't get to play it, but PK would be on the list. And then need to get to Barnbougle and play all those ones. It's obviously all in Australia, but Barnbougle and in Tassie, you got to go there. It's probably the only place we haven't gone yet, so that's definitely on the
beautiful.
cards for sure.
I'm pretty excited to know what this one might be. Might be putting you on the spot for these last 2 ones, but we're obviously named after the party hole at the Grange, the 12th, the watering hole. Every player at Live comes out to their walkout song. What would Ron Chopper's walkout song be to hype up the crowd to get the ace on 12?
Careless Whisper.
And writing with the answer too.
Oh, beautiful. That is That is
Oh,
fantastic.
because
loaded.
Rick asked me the same thing. And when I told him, he just went
Yeah.
like, "That's not going in." I was like,
That is, no, that's fucking absolutely going in.
Chuck that in the playlist.
We'll lead with
Imagine
that.
Yeah.
it's just
That-
the big sax.
Hell yeah. That is
Beautiful
fantastic.
This guy means business.
That's actually one of my favourite answers,
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah,
for
yeah, that's
sure,
fantastic.
For sure. And the last one, I'm thinking I might know what it might be, but you never know. We always say that and then people surprise me. But we've got, the Fireballs, Majestics, Range Goats, Ripper GC. If Rick called up Ron Chopper and said, "Oh, we're putting together a YouTube team and you're the captain," what would Ron Chopper's team name in the Live Golf be?
Well, it's pretty obvious. It's got to be the Choppers, obviously. Yeah. Everyone wearing this pink shirt.
Everyone wearing a hat.
And everyone. Yeah, mid-90s coming in dead last. It'd be, and everyone getting paid. Everyone getting paid because there's no cup. I'm on board. Let's do it.
I love it.
We'll be the guys playing Stableford. We'll play Stableford.
Absolutely.
Yeah, having a good time.
I'll be there and wipe every hole. Yeah, I'll be there too. Excellent. Mate, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. It was a bit last minute, obviously. It's been in the works. We sort of spoke to Dave and trying to get you on as well. So we appreciate your time coming on. We're going to be following everything you do. We'll share everything that you do, and we wish you nothing but the best. Congrats again on 50K. That's just happened. Massive achievement, and you're really a good advocate for Australian YouTube golf, mate. So well done.
Thanks, guys. I feel bad when people say that. They're like, "This is what represents YouTube." Like, fuck, you'd be skilled.
And we were lucky to actually have you on the episode because you had a little bit of a marketplace scare in the background. Had to let the listeners know that.
It's all happened for me today, but we're all good. Thank you very much for having me on, boys. It was
awesome. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Ron.